I've been waking up slow with the weight in my chest, like the sun forgot how to shine in the west. And I smile when they ask, say I'm doing just fine, but there's thunder rolling quiet in the back of my mind. Some days are light, and some days I fake, and some days I break for my own damn sake. Well, the thing is, I'm trying, even when the voice in my head keeps lying. It's a war just to get out of bed, but I breathe in deep and I face it instead. No, I'm not alright, but I'm fighting to be. Well, the thing is, I'm still me. I got friends who don't call, and I don't blame them. Hard to hold space when your world's gone vacant. And I wish I could tell you what's missing inside, but it's foggy in here, even with open eyes. I wear my silence like armor, I know, but there's hope in the cracks where the light starts to show. Well, the thing is, I'm healing, even when I don't trust what I'm feeling. Every scar is a line in my song, every stumble's a sign. I've been walking this long, and I don't have a map, but I've got my feet. Well, the thing is, I'm still me. I won't lie and say it's easy, but I won't hide the storm inside. If you're walking through the darkness, take my hand, we'll walk side by side. Well, the thing is, we're learning, and the fire in our hearts keeps burning. Even when the night feels too long, the strength in the fact we go on. So if you're not okay, let this song set you free. Cause the thing is, you're still you, and that's still enough for me.
How you're doing? Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What is going on in the world today? What's going on, everybody?
How
Well-
you're doing?
Welcome to Well, the Thing Is. We're going to be talking about dating while struggling with mental health. We're not giving dating advices because I'm single, so I can't give dating advices.
I'm married. But yeah, so I'm not dating right now.
So, but if you'd like an advice, seek a relationship therapist.
Very true.
So, a psychologist's advice for dating when you're dealing with mental health struggles. This article is from woman.com. So, and it's in the description below. Dating isn't easy at the best of times, and it can be even more anxiety inducing when you're struggling with your mental health. But just because you're still working on yourself, as all of us should be, that certainly doesn't mean you're not worthy of love and shouldn't put yourself out there if dating is what you want to do. In fact, dating while dealing with mental health is probably more common than you might think. Logan Urey, director of relationship science at Hinge, told the 30 in 2022 that 78% of Hinge users consider themselves to be working on their mental health. Also, 29% of people on the app said they were spending time with a therapist or mental health professional. Enter the age of enlightened dating. Singles are focusing on their mental health and want to date someone who also done the work and invested in themselves. So now that we know mental health is most certainly not a roadblock when it comes to the dating scene, how on earth do you get out there? Well, women.com spoke exclusively to Carolyn Rubenstein, a licensed psychologist and wellness expert, about some of the best ways to dip your toe back into the dating world while preserving your mental health at the same time. No, there's no need to jump right into the dating scene. One of the best ways to get ready to date again is by building it up slowly. You don't have to jump right in and go on multiple dates a week to be making progress. Instead, try putting yourself in a lower pressure social situation so you get used to being around people and get some confidence back. Try taking small steps, put yourself out there. Dr. Rubenstein exclusively told women.com. This may involve joining a group, attending events that interest you, or conversing with people you meet daily. As you become more comfortable with these small interactions, you could gradually work up to more significant connections. You know, so I will say this. Since I got legally separated and working on divorce and finally divorced from my last relationship, I've been separated for 5, 6 years before my divorce was finalized. And haven't dated anyone in the past 7 years. And today, 2026, I'm like, I'm going to put myself out there, that I want to find somebody. And this article is actually giving me, the courage to do it. So I'm going to keep reading. You may also want to use apps to ease yourself back into the dating world. Try chatting to 1 or 2 people and building up a rapport before actually meeting. Or even don't talk at all. Remember that you do not owe anyone a message. If you're having a few swipes on an app before moving on to the next step would help you, then that's the best way to go. Just make sure you set some boundaries. Have a system. How much are you willing to engage with somebody before you actually meet and make it real? If somebody's not meeting you in the way that works for you, it's far better just to let them go. Keely Combs, a psychologist who specializes in sex and relationships, told Time magazine. Work out what you want from your potential partner before you start dating. My biggest tip for people who want to date with purpose is first, take the time to focus on yourself and reflect on what you want out of a relationship before jumping into dating world. Logan Ury told the 30, after self-reflecting and deciding on what you want, you should embrace the trend of hardballing. Hardballing means someone is being clear about their expectations of a relationship from the beginning, whether you want a serious long-term partnership or a casual fling, he added. If you'd rather not date anyone who's not looking for a relationship, for example, you might want to make clear before the first date, particularly if you know a bad date might be detrimental to the way you feel about yourself. Don't be worried about scaring someone off by being so forward. As someone who's worth spending time with, won't be put off by your no-nonsense approach if they're genuinely interested. So what I just took from that is there's nothing wrong with being forward. If someone is interested, they will accept your no-nonsense approach. Okay, I get that. By being open and honest from the start about what you're looking for, you're also giving someone the opportunity to be along the ride from the start or not. Though it's never nice to hear someone you like isn't on the same page as you. Well, if he ain't on the same page as me, we're done. When it does mean it's like you're less likely to get invested in someone who doesn't want the same things and risk your mental health spiraling as a result. All right, you want to read from there?
I got you. Prepare yourself for rejection. It's not always personal. Let's be honest, the dating game isn't always the nicest and most confidence boosting way to spend your time. You're probably going to face some rejection, just as you're probably going to go out with a few duds who may make you lose hope of finding someone who's right for you. But try not to take any dumpings or bad dates personally. A psychologist, Dr. Carolyn Rubenstein, exclusively told us, and we can attest to. It happens to all of us. Remember that everyone experiences rejection and disappointment in dating, and that it doesn't define your worth, she shared. Treat yourself with compassion and forgiveness, and don't be too hard on yourself. Therapist Whale Akaraya also suggests to the 30 that you should keep reaffirming yourself even in the worst moments to try and maintain the kind of positive mindset that will attract what you want. Dealing with rejection or being ghosted can take a heavy toll on us mentally. One way to push past those things is to write out some affirmations about yourself and repeat them often, she shared. It's also worth remembering that if you stop getting a response from someone, there could be a whole host of reasons that aren't personal. Not getting a message back isn't always necessarily a rejection. It could just be that they're busy, lost their phone, or may even be taking a mental health break themselves. So try not to take it to heart. Don't be ashamed of sharing your struggles. Feeling like you can open up to your date about your mental health can have a number of benefits. Not only does it have the potential to bring you closer as you both get more vulnerable, but being so honest, you may even find that they've been or are still maybe going through a similar thing themselves. If you're worried about opening up, you may want to wait until you know them a little bit better. Conversating about your mental health with someone you're dating can be vulnerable and challenging experience, Dr. Rubenstein said, exclusive to women. There are a few factors to determine when you're ready to have this conversation. If you don't feel comfortable confiding in your partner, wait until you've developed a more profound connection, may be best. Timing is also essential. They also suggest the best time to talk is when you're both calm and able to have a full conversation that won't be cut short. Start by sharing what you feel comfortable sharing. Gauge their response. You can gradually share more details as you both become more comfortable, she added. Dr. Rubinstein also suggested setting the scene by letting them know you have something personal you want to share, and then being open to the idea that you may need to better educate them, and that's okay. You can share some relatable resources with them and explain mental health and its impact on your life, she said. Only share details of your mental health experience you feel comfortable with. Just because you're opening up to your date about your experiences with mental health doesn't mean you have to get candid about absolutely everything if you don't want to. As things progress with the other person, you'll likely feel increasingly comfortable sharing more over time, and getting to know each other better will also give you an idea of how they'll be able to support you. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. It's okay to share your diagnosis if you feel comfortable doing so. Being open and transparent about your experiences can help the other person understand what you're going through and provide the necessary support, Dr. Carolyn Rubenstein exclusively told us. But that doesn't mean you have to share absolutely everything. Ultimately, this decision to share a plan for therapy or treatment is up to you. If you feel comfortable doing so, showing that you are taking proactive steps to manage your mental health can be helpful, Rubenstein shared. But if you don't have a plan, don't let that hold you back from honest conversations with your partner about your needs and how they can support you. Get help if you feel you need it. As we know, there are absolutely no shame in asking for help when you need it. In fact, It's one of the best and strongest things you can do for yourself. How much help you need will be totally dependent on your frame of mind and the situation. It could be something as simple as meeting a friend for coffee, or something a little more significant, like scheduling an appointment with a therapist. Having a support system of friends, family, or a therapist who can offer encouragement and advice as you navigate the dating world can be helpful. Don't hesitate to contact people you trust and ask for support. Dr. Rubenstein shared exclusively with women.com. It may also be helpful if you're beginning to struggle to gather those closest to you and head out to do something fun away from the dating world for a little self love day. Do things that would, in general, support your mental health and self worth so that it doesn't get caught in the cycle of what's happening on your phone. Keely Combs told Time. This can be particularly useful for those using dating apps, where it can feel like there's an endless supply of people to talk to constantly. Spending even just a few hours with those closest to you can do wonders for helping you feel refreshed and in a better frame of mind when you head back to the app. Take a break if you need to. Don't think that putting yourself out there to date again means you have to stay out there permanently. If you find the whole thing overwhelming, it's absolutely fine to take a break. If you're trying online dating, take a week, a month, or even more away from swiping to reset yourself. If you're heading out to bars or clubs to meet people in person, you may want to stay away from those places for a short period of time to enjoy just being out without the presence of finding dates. You may also want to change up the way you're dating. If you're using a specific app to try and find a partner, try a different one to see if you prefer it. Each one has its unique traits. With apps like Bumble, for example, letting the women speak first, which you may feel more comfortable with, it's all about finding out what works best for you. If meeting someone is what you want to do, though, don't ever let mental health issues stop you from dating permanently. As Megan Barton Hanson told Vice, it's important for people to remember that you can still be a really good and supportive partner, and you are worthy of being loved, even when your mental health isn't a-okay. You don't have to be this ideal person before you put yourself out there. You're not broken, you're just living. Be your own biggest dating cheerleader. In addition to seeking help from other people, remember that you can be your own greatest cheerleader. It's easy while dating to feel demoralized, sexualized, or used, but it's important to never forget your worth. When you're in your confident mood, life coach Katri Barrett suggests creating a positivity note in your phone, which you can refer back to when you're at your lowest after a bad date or a negative conversation. In it, list all of your worth and value that you can refer back to whenever you need a pep talk. She proposed to Cosmopolitan. Look back at your list, which should be full of positive self talk. Will also make those awkward early conversations easier. Not only will you learn not to question your worth because of people who don't even deserve your time, but that extra confidence boost will help you maintain your positivity to keep on trying if things don't work out with someone. Similarly, it's a good idea to keep checking in with yourself throughout your dating experience to ensure you're truly happy on the path you really want to be on. Ask yourself questions like, am I still feeling confident? Is this still fun for me? Or does it feel like a chore? Am I overwhelmed or anxious? Therapist Will O'Carey told the 30. Try mental health friendly dates. It's no secret that many classic date ideas these days revolve around drinking alcohol. For a lot of people experiencing mental health issues, though, drinking can only expirate, I can't say that day word, things. And you may also find yourself sharing more than you're intended to when it comes to your personal life. In a column for Vice, former Love Island star and influencer Megan Barton Hanson suggested ditching the drinking and try something else where alcohol isn't the focus. Go to a gig, go to an art gallery, go to the market, walk around, think outside the box, and try to do things that will make you feel good rather than feeling bad and numbing it by going to the pub, she shared. Equally, if you feel like your mental health has the potential to ruin your date because you start to feel anxiety or self doubt before you step out the door, why not do things with your date that you know usually help you. If exercising is one of your methods for helping improve your mental health, you could both head to a yoga class together where you're more likely to feel calmer and more secure. There are no rules when it comes to what you have to do on your dates, and you may even find that doing something unexpected helps you both bond better and have more fun. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We read that article, didn't we?
So, wow.
Hey, everybody coming in. Sorry we didn't get to say hey to you. We were so totally reading that article. Um, but yeah, that has a lot to think about if you think about it. Like try to make the dates like more comfortable for you. Like where like you've struggled with alcoholism, Mr. Eddie. You obviously don't need to be in a place full of alcohol, right?
Yep.
So you could be in a place that's more calmer for you, some kind of environment that, like, if you're a foodie and you love certain food or you have a favorite place that you eat, you know what I'm saying, and you're more comfortable there, like the waitresses know you by name. You know what I'm saying? That might be a place to go because it's a comfort place.
So, Sombre Warrior, how you doing? Aya, how you doing? Let me see. Let me shout out everybody that's in chat right now. Willow, how you doing? CFM Rocks Queen, how you doing? Ty Spork, Wanda, how you doing?
H. Davis.
Dagmar, how you doing? Elijah, how you doing?
Hope everyone is having a great night or afternoon or day so far, depending on where you're at in the world.
So, little story about what's going on with me. Uh, so this is the reason why I'm out there in the dating scene, but I'm a little hesitant because health wise, who wants to date a broken person? You know, I gotta have I have to see a shoulder specialist. I might have to get injections every day or have my shoulder replaced. My sciatica is acting up on my left leg, so it hurts to walk. I'm gonna have to have my right arm operated on again. So, who wants to date a broken person?
You'd be surprised. Before I met my husband, I said the same thing because you got to think I've had this condition since I was 15, right? It's because of a bus accident. And, obviously it gotten worse and it's progressively gotten worse over the years, right? And I
Yeah,
thought the same thing. And I was ready to be the crazy cat lady. Like, I'm no lying. I was starting my cat collection. And then I found, so like, and sometimes love just smacks you upside the head. Like you ain't even looking, just go, okay, what? What just happened to me? But what the article said, I do believe is a thing, like being more truthful, more honest, and open. Like, of course, only share what you feel comfortable sharing. You don't have to tell somebody your whole life story in the first 5 minutes, but you know, like the hard yeses and hard nos, right? This is my thing. When I first, because I've dealt with mental health issues, when I first started dating, I had a thing to where I'm not meeting you right away. You're going to take time to talk to me. And if I'm not worth your time and you ghost me, oh, well, you're not worth mine. And the only person who actually followed through with that is the man that I'm with now. Every other person didn't want to wait. They wanted to meet up. They wanted, to go to the next level right away. Now get to know me, you know what I'm saying, as a person. And I wanted that. And he was willing, and he was the person I was supposed to be with, obviously. I had to go through a lot of zeros to get to my hero, but I took that time to do that. And I had my hard yeses, my hard no's already thought out. And I laid it out on the table because I can't have any more children. I'm almost passed away having my son, and I have a liver condition because of it, right? So I can't carry. Um, so I have to be straight up and honest with that, especially knowing that happened to me at 20 years old, right? And a lot of guys in their 20s want what? Children, right? So I had to be straight up. Are you okay with not having kids? That's something you should, that's one of the things that I consider a thing you should ask someone on a first date. And get that out of the way, because as you're getting to know each other, sometime bring it up near the middle to the end of the day, because that is something you don't want to waste their time or yours. If you want children, realize I'm not going to be the person that you can have them with, right? So therefore, if that's not your thing, go find someone who will. So that way we don't resent each other in the future, or you can't say I didn't tell you. And so those are some of the conversations that I think a lot of people should have in the very beginning. Is like the, like if you're planning to want a long-term relationship, tell somebody. If you're planning you just want to fling, tell them. They'll either say yes or no, and you don't waste either one of your times.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And if you just want drive-by huggings, you just want drive-by huggings.
Yeah, sometimes you just won't drive by huggins, man. Sometimes I gotta drive by a hug.
Not every live we do is going to be a long live. I think today is, we can open up the panel and see if anybody wants to come up.
Oh, that sucks, Miss Aya. I hope you get to feeling better. I wish my great grandmother was still alive. She actually had a way. She had like these certain herbs she would chew up, and she would just blow in somebody's mouth and like get rid of that shit. It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, she was awesome. There may be some herbs and stuff to look up for that, Miss Aya, though. That might help.
Quick Vic.
What up, Quick Vic? How you doing? Yeah, I think honesty and communication are the biggest things when dating in general. And that's not just with mental health, that's in general. And I know everyone's afraid of rejection, but it hits someone with ADHD or with autism or different things differently because of emotional regulation issues, right? And fear of rejection is actually a part of those disorders, right? So, it hits someone with mental health a little bit harder sometimes than it does a neurotypical brain, where a neurodivergent brain takes it a lot harder and internalizes it. So you got to be to where you feel okay if someone does reject you. No, you have to keep repeating to yourself a positive affirmation that you are enough and they just wasn't the one. And move on to the next, because obviously if they were your person that you're supposed to be with, that would have never happened.
Yep.
Your person's going to love you no matter what. You're good, bad, and you're indifferent. And if they can't love you for your bad, they don't deserve your good. Think about it. You got to love all of a person, because that's what ultimately makes them them, right? You're good, you're bad, and you're indifferent. Where none of us are perfect and we're all going to make mistakes, fall and falter in some ways. It's how you make it through those situations, right? And marriage is not easy. It's not like, oh my God, it's like it can be as easy as you want it to be, if that makes sense. Learning how to talk to one another, how to communicate, how not to fight unfair, right?
Yep.
Those things, and that helps in regular relationships, dating, friendships, so on and so forth. Like I, as a friend, let's say as a friend to Mr. Eddie, I if I knew anything that would trigger him or hurt him, I would never use that in a fight if we were in a knockout drag out, because I know that's too far, right? And that'll end a friendship. We'll never speak again. Those are, that's the same thing in a relationship or dating. If you know what is too far, don't pass that line. Never step over that line. No matter how angry you are, walk away and think before you speak, because words do have power and meaning and can leave lasting effects. Oh my God, that is awful. Ooh. I hope you get to feeling better, Miss Aya. Yeah, they do have this liquid that you can swish around in your mouth when you talk to the dentist person, that they'll probably prescribe you that'll help with that. Also, throw away your toothbrush and get a new one. And anything that you use in that area, throw it away and get a new one, because it'll just spread the bacterium. But yeah, communication is key in everything, if you think about it, in every aspect of life, and learning how to communicate. And it's not always. I always say this. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I could be saying the same thing in two different ways. Like, let's say someone, I don't want to lie to them, but that dress makes them look fat, right? If I go, you look like a fat ass, or that's really messed up to say, right? And it's going to hurt them and lower their mental health and make them feel bad about themselves. Yet, however, I could say the same thing and go, that dress doesn't flatter your figure, but this one right here will make you look absolutely gorgeous. You see how the difference of that is said? I'm still saying that dress doesn't look good on you, but however, I'm saying it in a way that does not tear you down. You get what I'm saying? And there's a difference. Like being truthful with someone, you don't have to hurt them. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like if someone has, let's say, they see things, right? That's the name of it. Thank you, Willow. I forgot it was called nystatin. They gave it to my son once. He's allergic to it. And he didn't even have it anyway. He had a double ear infection. They misdiagnosed him, but that's side the point. But with like what we was talking about with I just lost my train of thought, Mr. Eddie. My ADHD just went woohoo. Yeah, talking about mental health. Here we go. Y'all just got a real vision of what ADHD does. It's how you say things, right? We could all, like, somebody has delusions. That's what I was thinking about. Schizophrenia. Sometimes when someone has that, if you say something in a way that makes them feel like they're crazy, they're going to fight you on it. Yet if you bring in logic and truth, they're not going to fight you as much, right? If you tell them to take a picture of what they're seeing and then look at the picture, they'll be able to see the truth, right? The picture doesn't lie. Yet if you go, there's nothing there. What you're seeing, you're crazy. You see, there ain't nothing there. You're just seeing, if you said it that way, you're going to make the person defensive and feel hurt versus saying it the other way. Say, hey, right now, I think you're having a delusion. Let's take a picture and let's see what the truth is. And the picture's not going to lie, so that you can see the truth yourself. You see the way I said it? They're the same thing. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And not all of us are great at constructive criticism sometimes, it's if you're blunt and truthful, sometimes you may say things in a hurtful manner and you meant them in a good manner. Right? Your heart was in the right place, but your wording was wrong. And sometimes taking constructive criticism right? Sometimes people have trouble with that, you know. And I know that Mr. Eddie, I don't ever want you to be afraid of stepping out on that ledge. Um, you may date a bunch of zeros, you know what I'm saying? Or a bunch of nadas, but
Yeah.
you'll eventually find that one that's meant to be. Just don't stick your D in crazy. And if you do, don't let them know where you live. That's what I tell all my.
I've been with quite a few crazies.
Don't let them know where you live, okay? Just that way they can't follow you home. It goes for my women too. Don't let them know where you live, ladies, unless you know they ain't crazy. Oh, did we drop the link?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. Because, I be forgetful sometimes. I totally understand that sentiment. Somber warrior. I know I've given praise to a lot of people and they can't see it in themselves. So therefore, it's harder for them to accept the compliments. But if I keep saying it enough, I'm gonna drill it into their head. That's the way I feel about it. Eventually, it'll get there.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the end goal right there. I want you to see yourself the way I see you, and that it goes for Mr. Eddie, for every person that I know. I want them to see themselves the way I see them. I want them to love themselves the way, in that way, and to see how amazing of a human being they are. That is my ultimate wish, is that other people could see how amazing they are through other people's eyes. And I want them to believe it and love themselves that way. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be able to see that through their own eyes too when they look at themselves in the mirror. It isn't that the goal of therapy though, if you really truly think about it, is to see yourself in a more positive light, not from other people's eyes necessarily, but from your own. See that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to be a little broken. It's okay to have scars. It's okay to put yourself back together after you've broken yourself multiple times. And you may have those scars, yeah, but those scars are beautiful. Those scars make you who you are. They make you amazing because that shows you're a fighter and you haven't given up.
So, plus you gotta be careful on who you're dating
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes people put on a mask, and sometimes you know when certain things happen in a relationship, that mask will fall off, and when it does, the realness comes out.
That's the truest statement. Because I thought somebody that I had dated was totally different until their truth came out. And by the time their truth come out, it was a little too late. Um, if that makes sense. I was already in love. And you try to ignore so many red flags when you're in love with someone. Every time somebody tries to warn you about the person, or no, they're not like that with me, and that it won't happen to me. That's what you think, and then it does. Um, And sometimes that mask only comes off just a little. It don't fully slide off until you're like I did, already had a child with that person. Now I'm 10 toes deep in. You get what I'm saying? A
Yep.
little bit harder to walk away. It's not an easy walk away. We have a child. I can't just throw everything down. And so it took time for me to realize it wasn't worth holding on to because I was trying to save it for our child. And it wasn't worth it. And I didn't want my son to grow up and think that's how a man should treat a woman. I had to realize I didn't want him to see him that way, in those lights. So I had to let it go. I had to realize it was not healthy for anybody involved. Not me, not him, not our child. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Those are not the best circumstances. And yeah, I understand that kids who come from a broken home also have mental health conditions because of it. But it would have been 20 times worse if I had stayed. So sometimes there's a, a, a weight system, right? Which risk outweighs the other? You know what I'm trying to say? Either way, it's going to be bad, right? But which one's going to hurt less? Which one's going to leave the less scarring? Which one's going to be the lesser of two evils? And for me, leaving was the lesser of two evils. Yeah, healthy love language is a huge one. And when you do have those bad relationships, right? Let's say you have those, not taking that out on the next person, or like see the red flags. Don't be ignorant to them, right? But don't assume that every person is like the last person that you dated. That's another thing. If they say they're going out with friends or family members, don't assume because the last person you were with said that and they were actually cheating, right? Don't assume that for that person because that may be total different. They actually are going out to eat with their parents or going out with friends and not doing anything wrong. You get what I'm saying? You have to let go of past trauma and past relationships to move forward into the newest one. And getting mental health works for that. So therapy, therapy, therapy. I'm going to preach it. Also, I would suggest anybody trying to enter the dating field, if you have a therapist, talk to your therapist about it. When you go on new dates, talk to your therapist. It'll help you through those situations.
And don't be afraid to talk to your therapist.
There should be no fear if you got a good therapist. If you like them, if you don't, get a new one. It's just that simple. Find one that fits you, just like your next partner. Find the one that fits you. But I would give that guideline for anybody who's trying to go out into the dating world. Have your hard yeses and your hard nos already thought of. What you're willing to share. Um, what your expectations are. Like, like we were talking about in the article. Have that already thought out before you even try, because that's going to help you, first off, not waste your time or their time. You already know what you want. And trust me, a lot of people actually enjoy that you know what you want. And if they don't fit that mold, they're actually most of the time not even going to be mad about it if you don't sync up and you don't line up, because you're not wasting either one of your times.
Yep. So put a one in chat if your relationship has lasted over 10 years.
I can't put a 1 yet. We almost there, but we ain't quite. We still got 4 more years. We'll be the 7-year mark next year, or this coming up August. So I still got a few years. But we've been friends longer than that. Hey, Miss Pat. Oh, snap. We got Ty with the 1. We got Miss Wanda with the 1. She said, CMF Queen asked my current one or any of them.
Well, I will say this: if you're on a current one, then so let me ask this, CMF Raw Queen. Okay, so I don't even know what to ask.
Okay, so here's the thing. Was the one, okay, let's say you had a 10-year before the one you're with, 6 years with Rich and 14 plus in my previous marriage. Yeah, but is your 6 years with Rich happy versus your 14 years with the previous marriage? You see what I'm saying? Like, in order for there to be a current one, right, it has to be a whole lot more happier, in my opinion, than a past. I just don't know. Maybe that's the way I see it, because you wouldn't be the past if they were, you know what I'm saying? If it was a great relationship, it wouldn't be in the past unless they passed away. Which in that case, then I would. Oh no, he passed away. See, that's why I was about to ask. That's why I was asking, because if they passed away, that's a whole nother story. That's a prayer section. You know what I'm saying? Losing someone after that long freaking hurts. You know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes when people pass away, it's a blessing when you find love again. Because my father's first wife passed away, and he loved her deeply. And my mom was not jealous. We actually had her picture hanging up in our house, as a memoriam to her. And my mother was never jealous of him talking about her. And I know that some people can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? But some people can handle that, and that Rich is an amazing man to be able to handle the fact that you had an amazing marriage before, and that it's okay to talk about and things like that, because that's not always a thing. But I'm glad you've had 2 great 6 years and 14. Hi, go ahead, CFM Queen. God gave you 2 blessings, not 1. You got 2. I've only been blessed with 1, thank you, Jesus, and I'm happy with that 1. But you got 2 blessings.
So the reason why I asked that question is because people who have been in relationships 10 plus years and are still in that same relationship know how things work and what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And that knowledge is power. Because in today's society, in the dating scene today, they're too modern. I don't find any traditional women. It's modern women. They're worried about what's in your bank account, not what's in your heart. What can you buy them materialistic, not about a future. It's me now, not me, or it's me and not us. And that's what I'm struggling with today.
I will admit that I don't fully understand that, and I'm glad I met my husband for that reason, and that reason alone. I would have became the crazy cat lady.
You didn't understand what I meant just now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm a traditional woman, if you don't know that.
So you're about the companionship. You're about being with the person you love, working as a team, as a unit. All right. You don't care about how much money your better half makes, as long as he can help pay the bills, right?
Yep.
So you work as a team. That's traditional. Modern women care about what's in your bank account, what you have to give them. You know, like their body is their worth, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but their body is all they have of value. That's what a modern woman is. Okay. What do you have to bring to the table? You know, this is what I get out of it. Every time I look and I see these women in their 20s and these men walk up to them and ask them, what how many figures do you expect your husband to have or your man to have? Oh, 150K a year or more. Well, what are you bringing to the table? This body. Okay. It's not all about looks anymore. It's all about the connection. You know, and I don't know. It's just
I totally agree though. With mine, right? Like it wasn't about looks for me. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about any of that shit. We were best friends, right? And we kind of had a thing for each other, but at the same time we were trying not to have a thing for each other, and it just kind of fell into that thing. But I'm when you're a traditional woman, you don't look for some of the superficial shit because money comes and goes. That's just the way it is. Money could be there one moment, be gone the next. Looks can be there and be gone the next. It's about what's in a person's heart. It's about whether you gel together. It's about whether you have the same personality type. If you can get along and sit in a room. Like the way I look at it, when I'm looking for somebody that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, and I know it's till the end, right? I want somebody I could sit out on the front porch with and we could just have a great conversation and laugh and make jokes and have the best fucking day just chilling together. That's what I want in a partnership. Something we can build together, be happy. We could go watch TV together and just have a day together and just be happy as two clams. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a situation where, I've had the role reversed where somebody was all about me, take, but I never give anything in return. So that's the thing about like me. Yeah, me and my porch. Leave me on my porch alone, Tata, okay? But like that's the thing. It's like nowadays people don't want that. It's crazy. It's harder to well, I'm not gonna say they don't want because there's probably women out there, they're just harder to find, if that makes sense. It's really hard in today's world because a lot of people want um really above their pay grade, if that makes sense. Women and men, um, they want something way above their pay grade, and they're thinking way above what they truly won't need. Because I'm going to tell you this, women, if you hear the sound of my voice, don't go for that man that looks like a GQ model. I'm gonna explain something to you. Get you a dad bod that can keep you warm in the winter. He ain't gonna bitch about you eating cake, okay? He gonna be there eating cake with you. Okay. Go for a man who has a good heart. Look on the inside because those looks, baby, they gonna fade. We all age. And that money could be gone tomorrow. But can you see yourself actually spending time with him when you old and gray and in the damn nursing home together? Or can you not? Look for a person that's gonna make you happy on the inside. I just had to put that out there. That goes for my gentlemen too. Don't be looking at that long-legged blonde if she ain't chill on the inside. Now, if she's a cool ass individual, you know what I'm saying, and y'all gel well together, and she likes do you, boo boo. Same thing for the GQ model and for the women. But for real though, find somebody that you gel with, not on a superficial level, because if you build a pyramid with superficial reasons, it's like building an upside down pyramid that's going to fall over because it's not built on a foundation. Build your foundation first with the person that you want to be with, and I promise you, can't nobody crumble that shit. They can't blow it down. They can't knock it down. I don't know, Mr. Eddie, if you've seen all these superficial relationships where people get married because of money or looks, and that shit never lasts long. It never lasts.
So true. So true. Especially these A-list celebrities or these athletes. They get married for all the wrong reasons. So like if I was an A-list celebrity, I'm not marrying another A-list celebrity. I'm marrying a nobody. Someone who don't come from money. Because you get somebody who doesn't come from money, they're going to be different than somebody who comes from money.
Find somebody who also treats, like if you were an A-list celebrity, find somebody who treats you like a human being and not a piece of paper or a money sign or because you're famous. Like, and there have been many instances of this in the celebrity world. And guess what? Those marriages are still going strong 50 years later. If you marry for superficial reasons, your house is going to crumble. Because beauty fades. Tomorrow you could gain 10 pounds. You could get scars on your face. You could be in a wreck, an accident. If it's about money, you could be broke tomorrow and be broke as hell, be destitute. And if she ain't willing or he ain't willing to build with you, guess what? Y'all both, you're going to be out on that street and they ain't going to care. They're going to move on to the next one.
Yep. Yes, sirree.
Look beyond what you see. That's another thing that I tell people. I myself have every one of my exes, none of them look alike. Like the man I'm with now versus my two exes, none of them look alike. Why? Because I didn't look at what was on the outside. I looked at what was on the inside. Each one of them were also different in personality, right? At that time in my life, each one of them were there for a reason. My first boyfriend was one of the sweetest guys you'd ever meet in your life. It was a blind date, right? I got to know him on a more personal level. That's kind of why I kind of like the texting each other for a while, talking to each other for a while kind of thing, because you do get to know the person on a more personal level, right? And it makes it more real. And me and mine now, we were long distance actually for a while before we've been living together now for 3 or 4 years. But we've been together for 6. The big C-19 kind of hit and kind of stopped a lot of things, if that makes sense. Some people are cruel. I will tell you that. But there's somebody out there for everybody, whether you think it or know it or not. Here's the thing. You yourself may be overlooking a person right now in your life that has thought you were the bee's knees since forever and a wind. But because you may not conventionally see them as attractive, you've overlooked them and you friend zoned them without even realizing it. That happens a lot. And that person would love the ground you walk on and worship you, but you ain't paid attention to them. Huggies, Shar. I'm giving you such a big heart. And I don't know if you can feel my my virtual hug. It's a big one. And Mr. Eddie's hurts a little bit. It crushes a little bit. His virtual hugs hurt a little bit. No.
Yeah. All right, Char Batty, take care. I went outside. It's 50 degrees outside.
It feels like it's getting hot. Like I'm going to have to turn back on my AC, y'all. And it was just freezing cold last week.
It is supposed to get colder later this week.
Yeah, it's like doing one of those things where, you know, it warms back up for a little while, then drops back down, and then it warm back up, then it drop back. I'm like, can you make up your mind, Mother Nature? What are we doing?
It's like tonight it'll be 50. Tomorrow night it'll drop down to 43. Sunday it'll drop down to 36. So
Hey, Miss Aya. That's my sex and candy. Yeah. Yes, that is my song for her, y'all. Don't be hating.
I think she's stuck in the couch.
Yeah, she done got stuck in the couch again. And I told her to quit playing around on that damn couch like that. Miss Aya, just know if you're talking, we can't hear you. I just want you to know that right quick. And you're not muted, so okay.
Well, I'll just kick you out and bring you back in. There you go.
There you go. Oh, is he out ice fishing again? You tell him to be safe around that damn ice fishing. I just watched a horror movie the other day.
Oh,
And
watch horror movies.
yeah, there was this one I was watching, and it was about this like I forgot the name of it. I had to ask hubby, but it was about this like it was kind of like a Freddy
I
type
don't know why
situation.
people watch horror movies and think they're real life.
They're not.
You know,
No.
I just make it like, oh my God, this could really happen. No, it can't.
There's only two that I ever thought could actually happen.
Chainsaw Massacre, which is based on a
No,
true story.
it is not actually. Not totally true. It's actually based on Ed Gein's life and a couple more, and they put it together to make it. That's not. They say that in the movie, but if you actually go look it up, do your research, it's not based on a true event. But I will tell you the two things that can be, and you're gonna laugh at me when I tell you. One of them is that movie about the water. The one where I don't want to say it, it's nasty, but the people fall apart from the inside and start throwing up blood. Cabin fever. Okay, because we actually do have a flesh eating bacteria already in water. So that shit could actually really happen. Two is a movie called Ticks from way back in the day. Here's the premise of this movie. Okay, there's a dude in the backwoods, a redneck in the backwoods, growing some Mary Jane, and he's spraying all kind of chemicals on it. And the ticks get into the chemicals with the THC, and that's why they grow outrageously large. That's some shit that could actually happen. Think about it. How many crazy rednecks do we know in the backwoods doing some dumb shit? I'm like, it may not be ticks, but I'm just saying, we know some crazy rednecks.
But the thing is when you light up a tick on fire, it kills them.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I said it could be. See the engine that
now you're trying to change it. Now you're trying to change it to something else.
The engine he had that was keeping the greenhouse all pretty and stuff was leaking
What's
oil.
up, Diamonds? How you doing,
with all the stuff. I'm like, what if it was another bug or something? What could that really happen? Like,
not if it's on fire.
Oh no, because you could end that real quick, like by catching them on fire. You could end that scenario. I will say though that cabin fever is actually a real thing, but it isn't to the extent that the movie made it. Right? We do have a flesh-eating bacterium, but you have to get in the waters and have an open sore yourself, and it just means you have to go to the hospital and get stuff to make it better, right? But that's why I said that one could actually happen. And for a while there, I didn't want to drink water. That movie made me afraid of water. Okay, point blank. Period. I was like afraid to take a shower.
Cabin fever isn't based on a true story.
No, it's not. No, not at all. But there is a flesh-eating bacterium in water that does stuff similar to that, and it's scary because Georgia had that problem for a while. You couldn't swim in the waters of the lakes and shit. I was like, I'm good. I don't want to play with no flesh-eating bacteria. What up, Diamonds clap back? What? Diamonds clap back.
Yeah, Diamonds, you'd love horror movies. Yep. I can see it. I dated a girl. I said, I don't do horror movies. The only time I watch a horror movie is if I can hold you.
You like the cuddling during the horror movie. You're like, I ain't even paying attention to the movie.
Yep.
Now, I will say that some of the ones about like the boats and stuff tipping over is actually based on some true events that actually did happen. And some of the like ones that happened in the ocean are kind of like there was a one that was based on these two people who went missing. It was based on a true story. They literally got lost in the water, and there's one called I think Open Reef or something. It's about sharks. It was actually based on a true event where they were cave diving, but of course they amped it up and made it more than what it was. They put 20 on 10, but there is actually some of those that are based around true stories.
True events, yeah.
Yeah, true events. That doesn't mean that the horror movie itself is actually 100% factual because, of course, in order to make it a scary movie or a horror movie, you have to tell some falsities, to make it more scary. Diamond claps back, said, "Yeah, I don't want an extra toe." Sharks are scary, but whales are even scarier by my husband's standard because he said a whale could swallow you, but a shark's just going to eat you. At least you pass away faster from a shark attack. uh, yeah, that's the one I was talking about, CFM Queen. The one where the couple was out there and they accidentally got left. Yeah. I love scary movies. I love pretty much any entertainment. I'm huge on I love action movies, I love comedies, I love chick flicks. I just love movies in general, and I love things that are just well written. That's very true, Viper. In almost every movie based off of an event, they add more suspense and things for the story.
Real life is boring.
Yeah, real life is actually boring. Exactly, hubby. Yeah, the Amityville horrors actually, I do not believe that it is true. And I'll explain to you why. As I know a lot of New Yorkers, and that house has been sold and nobody else has had anything else happen. I'm sorry. I'm into the belief that it's not true. Just my personal thought process, because if it was, it would have been more things happen after the fact. They did they changed the windows because they were trying to change the look of the house because so many people trespass and so many people go up there and bother them poor people that they even tried to they changed the address once, they changed the windows, they tried to make it look like a whole different house so that people wouldn't bother them. That was the whole reason. Like, they get so many people because the address was public, like trying to go up there and bother them and stuff, which I don't blame them. You know what I mean? I don't blame them for wanting to change the address and change, because you gotta imagine during Halloween time and people who want to do ghost adventures and all that stuff, they literally don't ask the people, or they just have people constantly knocking on their door and bothering them. Yeah, they have to have hubby said they have to have a police guard every year during Halloween. Ain't that crazy?
Where's this at?
That's in Amityville, New York. Amityville Horror.
Oh,
It's in Long Island. Yeah, it's in Long Island.
You know where Amityville is?
Yeah.
My whole family's from New York.
Yeah, I went by the house and waved at it. I didn't stop or bother the people or try to take a picture or be in their yard or do nothing like that, but drove by and waved,
Well,
like,
it depends. If the house is cursed, they staying with the house or the land. They don't move when you move.
Yeah, they've never had any more instances. That's the only reason that I don't think the house itself had anything to do with anything. If it was anything at all, it could have been a possession, like a doll or something like that. But after that next family did try to capitalize, but after that family moved out, there's nothing else being said about that house. Nobody else has had any, um, you know, anything else happen. So if that was truly a haunted house, it wouldn't just stop. They don't just stop. Because trust me,
No.
I've lived in haunted houses. They don't just stop. Even if you have a priest come in, it might stop for a couple weeks, but they're going to come right back.
Yeah. Um, I've, to be honest with you, I've never believed in haunted houses. I went to a haunted hospital. People said it was haunted. You hear things during the day and at night. So I brought a little tent with me, broke into the state hospital grounds, and camped out for the weekend inside the building. Didn't hear nothing. I toured the whole building and everything. Didn't hear nothing.
I could take you to a place to see if you're open. There's a place I know that even during the daytime, it don't even have to be at night that you'll see stuff. And it's in this one specific place, one specific spot. You'll catch something out the corner of your eye. What ends up happening is you see something run across, like a shadow, and you'll see something peek at you, like literally peek around the corner at you. And it almost tries to get you every time you got your head turned, where you know how your peripheral will catch stuff. It tries to do that every single time. It's in Amory, Mississippi. It's a museum, extremely haunted. And my husband didn't really believe me at first either until he went on the train car and saw it himself. I was like, I'm telling you, and that's just the bare minimum, right, of what happens there. If you actually, I used to live across from it, and like on a foggy night, I don't know why, it was always on a foggy night that you could see it better. You could literally see apparitions. You could see like an old school guard walking with like a light thing. You know those things that they have in the little thing that looks like the one you put the tea light candle in.
Yeah.
You can see one walking across there. You can see a nurse up on the second story pushing somebody in a wheelchair. And if you look in the train car, it looks like there's people sitting in it, and there's a trolley going up and down selling stuff.
Yeah.
But you can only see it every once in a while, so it's kind of hard to catch. And the only reason I did is because I lived across from it for a long time, right? Other than that, I only saw it one time the whole time I lived there. And I lived there for a while, so it's not an everyday occurrence. Now, I've lived in some haunted houses inside of them. Because, see, those apparitions or ghosts are not violent, right? So you're not going to get an everyday thing. They're just more playful. But when you live in a place that is violently haunted, which I have, I had a candy dish thrown at my head. Not a fun feeling. And I was a 5-year-old, 6-year-old child. And I still have, may have been 7. I think I was 6 though. Scary memory. I was very young. And it was not so nice. But I think it comes down to with that state hospital. Obviously there was nothing too bad there, or you would have gotten something. It might have been also, sometimes I'll tell you something that does happen about haunted places. People get a fear of it or get a thought process, and their brain can actually play tricks on them.
But isn't that like if you believe in that stuff?
At the time when I was a kid, I didn't believe until that happened to me. At all.
Do I believe there's spirits? Yeah. But have I seen a spirit? Yes. But like, do I believe they could pick up objects and move them? No.
Only reason I believe they could pick up an object and do it is because I saw one do it. But I will say this: I don't believe that they can. I myself am very hard to believe in possession and stuff like that. Very hard to believe that fully anyway, because I've never, if you've never seen it, it's kind of harder to believe it, if that makes sense.
What's up,
I've,
Kentucky Lee?
I have, however, seen things thrown at you. I've seen people get scratched. I have seen that in places that there's no way they could have did it to themselves. Like when you see scratches across somebody's back and not somebody else doing it to them, like in specific spots, and they were the only person there. There was nobody else with them, and there's no way a person could have actually did it, because when you see those actual scratches, they don't look like a fingernail from a person at all. It looks if somebody's ever had to see that. But I think it also does come down to what you believe, right?
Yep.
Every person believes differently. Like I believe differently than the next. Some people but like, I'm covered in the blood of Jesus, so ain't nothing touching me. You know what I mean? But I think it does come down to every individual person's beliefs. Sometimes do I believe certain ghosts mess with certain people or certain entities because they view them as weaker or more open? Yes, I also believe that. People who are sensitive to that kind of stuff, like real sensitive, they're more likely to see something than let's say you or I, right? I will say someone who has almost passed away or had a near death is more likely to experience shit for some reason because they've been closer to the spirit realm. But see, that goes back to my Native American beliefs, right? I've got Native American blood. We have the Great Spirit and the spirit realm, and you can commune with them if you get some peyote. But that's side the point. A little wacky debate, you do a little communion, and get advice from your ancestors. But I think it depends on the person. I believe it depends on where you're at. Sometimes I think certain people attract certain things. And when you experience something really messed up for the first time, you will never forget it or the feeling that happened when that happened. It is the most hair-raising experience of your life. I'd rather go play out in the deep woods with a cougar than deal with that ever again. Does that tell you something? I'd rather go sandpaper a wildcat's ass than to ever fuck with them kind of spirits again. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't ever want to deal with that again. That's why I know people who do paranormal stuff have never truly experienced that level of evil. Because if you have, you don't ever want to touch it again. You never want to be near it. You're like, I'm good. Mm-mm.
So Viper says, my date with my mental health is going to scary places. Maybe that's why I can't get a date. There's things out there I don't understand. I'm not going to bring it up on this channel, but there's some things out there I don't understand about people. One day I'll talk about it when I feel comfortable talking about it.
And I wouldn't talk about it before then. It's when you're comfortable.
So, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Get a hold of me, Kentucky Lee. If you're still watching, shoot me a text. So, with that being said,
Well, the thing is, see what had happened was in retrospect, I'll see y'all later. Huggies.
and well, the thing is out, my friends. I will see you Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.